Let's get it started.
Let's. Welcome to episode 9. Olga, have you had any observations from the universe this week? Because the Heated Rivalry people on the internet have taught me so much I didn't previously know.
I feel like you're one of those American teenagers who does Bible study all the time.
Do you know what? The Bible comes to me. Let me say that. I don't have to study. It comes to me. I'm going to say it. My big observation of this week that I hadn't noticed before in the show is that, in the shower scene, of course, in the shower scene, the asses walk in. We see Ilya for the first time naked.
Yeah.
He silently mouths when he sees Ilya's dick for the first time. He mouths silently, fuck. And I hadn't seen it.
Oh, that's hot.
I hadn't seen it before. And then I was like, I'm going to rewatch, which I do anyway, but it's nice to have an excuse, isn't it? What about you?
That's really hot.
Isn't it?
That's so really hot. Well, speaking of Connor's ass, something that I discovered this week, and I'm so sorry, you probably already know this, but Connor's parents are bodybuilders.
Oh, yeah, no, I did know that. I was going to pretend to be shocked. But also, I thought you were going to be like, I didn't know what you were going to say. Like,
they're
crazy. Flat-assed.
Can you imagine?
He's one in a generation.
Yeah, no, that's how he found out he was adopted. But no. But they were in shows up until like 2017. He's from a bodybuilding family. That's crazy.
That makes so much sense because I'm sorry, like the way I truly believe that he trained Shane, or he trained. Don't you think that they trained each other because he put on like 11 kilos or something in this
of
series
just ass fat
in 36 days? I'm like, you just made friends with a bodybuilder. That's crazy. Because Hudson said that he would be going to sleep and Connor would knock on his door and be like, legs.
Oh God!
Not that I know.
But it's interesting because in every interview, Connor's story will always be like, "Yeah, I wanted to be an actor from a young age," and it's like, "What was the backup career?" Underwear model. And I was like, "Oh, what?" It's like, "What did your parents do?" And it's like, now that I find out they're bodybuilders, they're probably like, "Yeah, that's really realistic.
Good for you, man. We can help with that. Let's get the family down there. Let's get you ready." It's so sweet. Let's talk about the fact that this is week 3 of talking about the book. And Olga, I have a confession, which is that I felt like I hadn't done my homework sufficiently for the first 2 sections. I felt like I was all over the place, and I compensated for that in a huge way in that producer Charlie just handed me 17 pages of notes.
17!
I was like, I haven't been taking the book seriously enough. I've just been a bit condescending about it, and I need to get my shit together. And so, yeah, I've gone in like deep today.
Oh God, I have 6 and I thought I over-prepared. No, one can never over-prepare in the presence of Catherine fucking Bohart. Should we also touch very quickly on the Olympics?
Let's touch on them.
I'm assuming this comes out after the Olympics are over, but if you did watch the Olympics, specifically women's hockey, which I assume you were watching.
Which we have to assume this listenership is watching.
Producer Charlie, our Lord and Savior,
yes,
was watching women's hockey, and in the middle of the night we received a text message that said the commentator said she kept her crease clean.
And then also said, this is not a real sport. This is not a serious sport. And it's like, yeah, that's fair.
She kept her crease clean and then she played hockey. Come on.
Hey-o. Aren't you do both at the same time? Surely. That's got to be a sweaty suit. Let's talk about some letters we've had in. It's so by the way, it's so nice that you're writing in. It makes us feel less like we're crazy and screaming into the void. So thank you for emailing us. We had an email from Tara, who said, "Hey, Catherine and Olga.
Hi, Tara.
My favourite low-budget thing I have noticed is they must have bought only 1 pack of those black boxer briefs and gave each actor character 1 pair. Why are all the leading men wearing the same black boxer briefs?"
That's a really good point.
Is it crazy that I never noticed what their briefs
were?
I
was looking at the ass.
Yeah, me too. I was like, take them off. Whatever it is, take it. Wow.
I go one step further. Same pair of boxers.
I
sharing
hope
them
so.
around.
That's nice.
And then you auction them off, and I will bid.
You don't auction them off. Jacob Tierney keeps them forever. Those are for him. Those are his private collection.
That's his fee, actually.
And I respect it. I respect the hell out of it. Having read the books, I realize it's all he deserves. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I would like to say that I have been on record saying that the first half of the book is an interesting exercise in fan fiction, a sort of maybe printed out live journal page, a printed out Wattpad page. The second half, literature, give her the Pulitzer, give her the Booker, give her a Nobel Literature Prize.
The amount of times I wrote down in the second half of this book, that's Rachel Reed. I mean, the amount, like the quotable things from the show that you're thinking of, like, wow, Jacob Tierney's amazing. So much of it was Rachel Reed. I did not give her credit.
Directly wrote the dialogue.
And I will be talking about that. Let's get into part 3. Hopefully you've caught up with us. And it's October 2016. We're in Philly. There's a man pinned under Ilya, and it's not Shane, but it's okay. It's a bit of fun. Turns out they're just playing hockey, and the crowd are booing Ilya, and somebody's like, "Suck my dick," and he's like, "It'll be the best blowjob of your life." And then we immediately get an F slur. Bit of fun. Keeping it realistic, Rachel Reed. Good for you.
The switch around that you're talking about, I found that type of writing very cinematic. I thought I really thought, okay, we're shifting gears in part 3.
Girl expects an adaptation. You know what? Yeah, she's written her diary for a couple of months and she's thought, fuck it, I could get this on Canadian television. Good for you, Rachel. Now, my favorite bit about, aside from the homophobia, which I'm glad she includes, actually, because I just feel like it's kind of weirdly unrealistic if she doesn't, especially in a context where they're keeping it secret.
And informs their paranoia about coming out, obviously.
Absolutely. They, amidst all of this, Ilya doesn't give a fuck, they show Shane's game on the board, and he's scoring, and Ilya's like, "No, I have to score too," which is, he like sees his man on the board and then is like, "Ooh." By the way, we left off from Vegas. We left off from the didn't even kiss in part 2. Just to be clear, when we're coming into part 3.
Yeah. Oh, that's where we left off.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so they're not necessarily in communication, and Shane's is like, that was tough.
Yeah.
Great.
I also would like to say that we have on
Please.
record the kind of bisexual that Ilya is, and as bisexuals who are all constantly obsessing over percentages, the record is that Ilya is 30% gay.
Wow.
It says so in
That's
writing.
very sweet, as if I think that proves what we have on record there is his denial. But sure. Shane and Hayden at the aquarium. Hayden suggests they're having kids because Jackie is bored, which actually makes way more sense to me. You don't get that explanation in the show, but you do get it in the book. He's like, "Well, Jackie's bored, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it."
In the show, you don't think Jackie's a real person.
Well, no, that's correct. I think that she's a front for Hayden's love of Shane. But that becomes...
Oh, and it becomes very apparent.
And that becomes true in the books too, yes.
Their kids are called Jade and Ruby.
I know.
That's incredible.
And Shane noticing that their kids are called Jade and Ruby and calling it a choice is the gayest thing he's ever done.
Oh, yeah.
Forget sucking dick. Him being like Jade and Ruby for kids' names. I was like, whoa, boy's gay.
Shout out to All's Fair, the Ryan Murphy show, where women dress just like this. Kim Kardashian.
I will not shout that out.
Okay, well,
You
I'm
can
shouting it
shout it
out,
out.
and I would like to know that everyone to know that Niecy Nash's character is called Emerald Green. So.
Stunning. Emerald Green! Stop it. Is she a leprechaun? What are you talking about? This is Emerald Green. That's gas. That's if you watch that.
Yeah, originally she was Irish, and they said it was 2 race.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. But here's the thing. Shane, what we get in this book the insight we get in the book that we don't get in the show is that he's very much in the minority for not just being gay, but not being married with kids. A lot of his teammates got married very young.
Yeah.
Hayden in particular, obviously. And when they're out, I know in the show we see these 2 girls approach him, but in the book, actually, he's desperately hiding. He's wearing black. He's wearing a ball cap. He is trying not to be noticed in this, and he's gone to the aquarium in the hopes that it's a place where he won't be noticed. Those girls approach him, and it starts a sort of slew of people going, "Oh shit, that's Shane Hollander." Yeah. And then they have to spend 20 minutes of him just getting his photo taken over and over again. And you realize, like, he really is on display. That paranoia is based in a constancy of observation. And I think she explains that very well.
The stakes are just definitely more apparent in the book than they are in a TV show.
Another thing that's more apparent in the book is there's a moment when the twin girls are like clapping at the penguins, and he takes them over and holds both of their hands. And it says his heart clenched.
Because they were so tiny.
Because they were such tiny hands. Baby boy wants to be a dad, which really adds to the later scene in the pool, don't you think? When Ilya is being fun with the kids.
Yes. I mean, both boys are the most the traddest of dreams.
Yeah. These boys want to be dads desperately. When they're not being little perverts, they're desperate to be dads.
Before we move on, two things.
Please.
First of all, if you're a hockey player trying to hide an aquarium, come on. What is an aquarium made of? Water. What does water do? Freeze. What are you doing?
Grow up. Penguins are the hockey players of the wild.
And number 2, this is something that I personally am obsessed with. I I don't know if you guys know this. I don't assume that you do, because this is a podcast about Heated Rivalry and nothing to do with me. But I did my master's degree in parasocial relationships, and I'm like obsessed with like the internet and how people handle fame. And so one of the things that Shane does is the first thing he does is when he meets fans, I say, "What's your name?" And I have historically noticed that "What's your name?" is like the default celebrity thing to ask, because it deflects the attention from the celebrity.
Yeah.
It makes the fan feel like they're being asked a personal question.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a name, baby.
Yep.
I am obsessed with "What's your name?" And the 2 times that I've
Do you
met,
not do that?
I will. I mean, I don't have fans, but if I meet someone,
saying that's not true. You do. I'm not saying that we're not at all famous, but the people who like comedy and like us,
that's the default. Immediately, I will always ask
too.
your name.
But I don't. That's interesting to think of it as like to have framed it as a device as opposed to like a sort of strategy. I guess I think of it as more of like coping. I can't.
It's a way to even a playing field
Exactly,
as well.
I can't
It's like
have the
you know
sense-
something about me.
Yeah, I can't handle the sort of like lack of parity about information.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
But I remember meeting, I think it was author Jonathan Ames on the tube or the underground or the subway in New York City. And I was like, "Oh my God, I love your work." And he said, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he cares what my name is." I don't think Jonathan Ames cares what my name is.
No, but he just wanted to be on the tube and left alone. But
He was wearing a hat.
I'm sure worse things have happened to people on the subway. The thing that also is pointed out in the book by Rachel is that Shane's suspicion is that Hayden would be okay if he came out to him, but that there is probably no point at this point in the book. He says there's no point in risking coming out because he might still find a girl. So everybody's in denial. Everybody's still in denial.
And then Ilya watches Shane do yoga on TV.
In Washington, yes. He's watching them on ESPN.
And we hear... I think there were
Wait, you missed a huge detail in the
What?
book that is a massive part of Ilya's personality that we do not explore in the television show because they definitely didn't have the budget, and that has to be why.
Oh!
He's looking at Audi spiders in Vegas yellow. Don't mind if we do, boys. A basic bitch. Ilya loves fast cars. Yes, he does. Hot stuff.
I will say the sort of the financial implications of this book, you do kind of think, oh man, I'm obsessed with a landlord and a fucking and a dumb little rich kid. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like the sports cars, and then like there's an allusion to one of them getting a pilot license later, and it's like, what the fuck kind of lifestyle are these fuckers living?
Yeah, but also like, of course, Ilya's hobby interest is high risk, high speed, constant, like, immediately depreciates. It feels like an allegory for his attitude to women, but fine. And whereas Shane's like, build a house on solid foundations and then you can have long-term success. Like, they are such parodies of themselves, and I love it.
The lesbian version of this, the femme is obsessed with Birkins.
Yes. They last a lifetime. But I do think that I do feel like you think Ilya's the femme?
Interesting.
Fascinating. What is interesting?
In the sense of like, he's peacocking all the time. He's wearing like
you
crazy
think
clothes.
The femme's peacock, not the butches?
Oh, they do too.
You're
they
crazy.
Do too. Okay.
Also, sorry.
I mean,
there are a world of femmes fucking trying to keep a house running, and there's some butch being like, "I bought a motorbike." I actually do not.
You're
Your
right.
Honor?
You're right.
Your Honor.
Right. There's a lot going on here.
I say that though, most of the femmes do have to do the driving because they're also fucking passenger princesses. Butches anyway. Listen,
I'm just thinking
thrilled to
about,
have
I
them
guess,
around.
beauty maintenance, and I think Ilya has more of it.
Interesting. I feel
'Cause
like
he's
Ilya's never
buying Versace
moisturized, and Shane's like getting sort of like frequently updating his skin regimen.
Ah, you're so right.
Just a thought. I think like Ilya's never taken a vitamin.
It's almost like in gay relationships, the roles are blurred. And it's almost like no one's ever actually thought of that before.
Yeah, I think that's a new thought. And it won't be. We have to think about it in this book. Don't worry. But yes, he's watching this fluff piece about his cottage, and here's another big difference in the book. Not just the insight to his collection of cars, but that there is a fixation that is underscored by Rachel Reed that isn't. I guess they don't have time in the series. That because Shane in the book hasn't just got this apartment with an apartment above it, he's in fact bought a hookup building out of fear. there is an obsession on Ilya's part about accessing Shane's actual home,
Yeah.
seeing where he really lives, wanting to know him more intimately, despite whether or not he actually wants to want that. And so when he sees the cottage, it's not just like, I know obviously when you watch the show, you're like, oh my God, he's getting to see Shane do yoga.
Yeah.
But in the book, you're like, no, he's getting to see inside his home.
He's never seen any place that Hollander called home.
And also, Shane says, yoga helps my flexibility in it. And I'm just like, and then
it does come up later in a sex scene that I will be reading out loud verbatim because it's fucking crazy.
Great. Also, the fact that Ilya's watching and he's like rolling his eyes and he's like, oh, he's so boring. But also when Shane laughed and his nose crinkled, Ilya wondered if he'd fucked anyone in his cottage and his stomach flipped. Like, baby boy. Baby boy. Yeah, so I think, do you know what? The thing she does as well is that we don't hear, I guess we don't know in the show, is that they made a counterpoint to this. They made one for Ilya, one of these home things, and he just did a tour of his car collection.
Yeah. And
it sort of is like, the part of the rivalry isn't just that they play on opposite teams. It's that the media constantly points out their difference. Like he's the rock star, kind of car crazed girl magnet, and Shane is like the sensible man who is very committed to the cause and the cause is hockey.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just think that those opposites in every way become important later.
And again, I think this comes back to the fact that the media playing up how opposite they are plays up their rivalry and then builds the stakes.
Absolutely. Also, Ilya, in this case, Rachel observes that fucking Shane isn't getting him out of his system. He just wants to. The more they fuck, the more he wants it. And it's like, who on earth told you could fuck a millionaire who's that hot out of your system? Stay away from that man if you wish to wean off, don't you think? Come on, ridiculous.
To touch upon what you said about home, I do think that, like, on the surface level, it is the sort of the desire to want to know Hollander more, but it's also a desire for a home.
Oh my God, totally.
And
home becomes
later.
Yeah, it does. Okay, great.
I will say we just got through one chapter. So.
Yes, chapter 13. We're on to chapter 13, and Shane, very similar to the show, says he's going to go see a friend, and Hayden's like, and then they in the book, Ilya lives on the 16th floor or something. He lives in a penthouse, and so Shane's very nervous being caught going there, whereas in the show, it's like
he's got a house.
A private house, yes.
But this is the famous tuna melt scene, and I would like to say overall, before we get into it, that it is much more apparent, at least to me, you may have a different opinion, in the book, how obsessed and into it Ilya is. Because in the TV show, you're still kind of like, maybe he's still a fuckboy, maybe he's still a fuckboy. Here he is like categorically saying shit like, I'd like to look at you tonight.
Simp.
I'd like to look at you tonight.
Yeah, honestly. But also, the thing to say is, this is actually very distinct in the book, is that every single time Shane goes to Ilya's house or goes to see Ilya, he's deluding himself that he is going there to have the conversation to end it. Every time he's like, this is gotta end. And every single time Ilya, I guess, opens the door and Shane's like, never mind. That's cool. Never mind. Yeah. And he's like, he immediately goes into the bedroom and Shane is like, what the fuck is this? You expect me to follow you like a dog? And I'm like, well, Shane, baby boy.
I've got news for you.
If the dog barks, I don't know what to say to you. And then Ilya's sucking on his tongue. That's exciting. That's new.
It is interesting. What I like about this is that Rachel Reed, throughout this book, keeps inventing new bases.
Yes!
It's like, surely they've done it all. And she's like, you know what they haven't done? Sucked each other's tongues.
Let's do it! And then, quite a sweet observation, I think we say, she notes that Shane, when he is sucking off Rosanov, doesn't feel like a sub because Ilya's whimpering so much. And I'm like, yeah, boy, get your power back.
Oh, whimpering is hot.
If you're going to whimper, I'm going to be in charge.
Whimpering is hot.
Yes.
So yeah, we're seeing a lot of, you could tell why, and you can really see how like this first half of the book has no creases whatsoever, and the second book is just part creased
to shit
to high heavens. Yeah. But I will say it's because they start being cute, right? So Rosanov.
Disagree. That's not why for me.
Okay, Rosanov wants to look at Shane when he fucks him. He calls him sweetheart.
Okay, so that's huge, by the way.
Okay,
huge.
talk to me.
Not a big thing in the show.
No.
Massive in the book is the first time he uses this pet name, which will become his sort of pet name that he uses in such sparing rarity for Shane that Shane wants it so badly. And when he says like,
Sweetheart.
Oh God, it's so, I don't know why it's so hot. I think it's because it's like slightly diminutive and also very heartfelt.
Like, sweetheart would actively be an aggressive sexist term if addressed to us.
Agreed. Oh my God, yeah, I'd be like, the fuck do you say? Yeah, I don't think so. We just skipped over slightly the fact that Shane's internal monologue, even when they're fucking, is often that no one can know. And I'm like,
Can I
baby
tell
boy,
you
get out
something?
your head.
We're inevitably going to have to skip over.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
But you also skipped over it. Rachel Reed writing his release seemed endless and splashed up to his neck. And I thought, really? It's been a while, but splash. Splash. She says it a lot in this book, and I'm like, splash.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Again,
like you've been gunged. Is that splash?
Listen, my theory is that she, with all the respect in the world, doesn't know how penises work, but does know how vaginas work, and so she's just sort of the clit is the slit.
But she's constantly dedicating her books to her husband. She's gotta...
Pre-cum is a pussy being wet, and splash is squirt.
Do you think that she doesn't know, or that she knows her audience is women? Because if that's it, hell yeah.
I think she's writing what she knows.
Fine. Okay. Anyway, at this point, it all becomes too tender and too soothing for Shane, and he freaks out. And we have to talk about the fact that as a freckled person, I have to talk about the fact that Shane in the book has such hang-ups about his freckles, and he doesn't like them, and he didn't really understand that anybody would find them attractive, and now women find them very sexy.
And Ilya's
obsessed
obsessed
with them, and it helps him to accept them, and it's very sweet. But there's a lot of adoring kisses, and it's gross.
What was your journey with your freckles, if I may ask?
Oh, I used to try to order bleach cream on the internet. I hated my freckles for many years. They were, I hated them. I would cover them so much with makeup. I detested them. And now I'm like, you're nice to me.
But I'm literally marrying a person that has red hair and is covered in freckles.
Yeah, you're going to be into it, aren't you? But yeah, I hated them for so long, and now I feel like, I don't even think about them anymore. But yeah. Anyway.
I think you're beautiful.
Shut up.
I'd like to look at you tonight, sweetheart.
Okay, I'm dry. No splash here. So they, in the TV show, I want to point out the difference. They nap together post initial fuck at the tuna melt scene. In this case, they just make out for an hour.
Whilst in their suits, we're literally like detectives being like, in the TV show, and yet...
And another thing.
SVU.
This case rests on finding some distinctions. No, but I will be doing a compare and contrast, so get on board. And then we've got ginger. It's all pretty similar with the ginger ale and the domesticity, and Shane being like, how does he know I drink ginger ale? Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, you know he drinks Coke. Everything's fine.
Something you astutely pointed out during the TV show recap, and I really, really saw in the book, is how much of a feeder Ilya is.
I wrote down feeder.
Feeder.
Yes, but of course he's a feeder. Of course
Feed him
he
your
is.
cock.
Yeah,
but
which actually, you're right, does come back to femme. Oh, it's complicated, isn't it? It's actually a bit complicated. Yeah.
I also will say that, and I'm going to make some sweeping generalization about Central European and Eastern European mentality.
In a way that you can, but I will stay neutral-faced for.
Yes. Is that every person, some people, no, not every, some people have the desire to nurture and be sappy. Soppy? What word am I? No, soppy.
You meant sappy, but you can say soppy if it makes you feel better.
But in cultures where like expressing your emotions in words is like cringe or unmasculine, I think food is one of the few releases.
Oh, okay. We're just talking about Irish people as well now.
I guess so.
I was trying to stay so neutral, and I'm like, yeah, correct. Don't say it. Just put another potato on the side. Thank you. Yeah. I will say at this point, when they're having a lot of dialogue, I was taking these notes when I'd already read the book, don't ask how many times, and I had decided to treat myself to the audio book.
Tell me.
Because I thought it would be easier to make notes while I listened to it. And at this point when they're doing, I don't know if anyone's listened to the audiobook. It is, I'm sorry to say it, intolerable.
Really?
Oh my God. The guy who does it, I'm sorry. I hope he's well. I hope he has a nice life. I don't want him to hear this, but it's bad.
Does he do the accents, or
He does the accents, but he also kind of slides between the accents when he's moving between dialogue. He can't quite change them fast enough.
Oof.
The biggest crime, tell me if you think I'm wrong, the biggest crime is what he does to David and Una. He does as like Yogi Bear. And Una, he does, Una is all up here like, oh my God. And David's like, wait a minute.
Oh my
Where's
God.
my son? You're like, what? Stop it! Stop that! Stop that! Stop it! It's horrid. It's horrid, and I think it's a crime. And my little issue with Rachel Reed is, do you notice that she calls when mom and dad are in scenes, she says, "Mom said, dad said."
Do you not like that?
I'm like, well, they're not my mom and dad, so
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, nothing to me is a bigger crime than referring to
the other man.
The man.
I know, but this is
Do you notice it
my
now?
level of crime. No, that doesn't bother me as much as
Okay, mom and dad
mom
doesn't
said.
bother me.
I'm like, who's mom? Anyway.
So here it says page 162. Doesn't say what I mean by that. Do you want to read it?
Hell yeah. He'd heard teammates talk. I wrote it down as well.
This is Shane talking about.
Well, can I just, before we get to
Yes,
this,
yes.
I'm sorry, I know I have to be in order, but it's just to say that "you have a good mouth" was a Rachel Reed line, and she deserves it.
Yeah.
Deserves credit for that.
Like, I would say 99.999% of the most iconic dialogue in the show was written by Rachel Reed. in the
Hard
books.
agree.
Credit
And then
needs to be given.
Shane's talking about his reflection on having sex with women. He's like, he'd hate for a woman to feel unappreciated. Yay! Preferred
A straight man wouldn't care.
No, but like a woman should know her worth. Preferred blowjobs, but would reciprocate, but had to psych himself up to that when he had to give it. Now let's read what you said, because I've written it down.
Come on.
He'd heard teammates talk about eating pussy like it was the closest thing to heaven on earth. Can we get their show? Let's have their series. Who are the teammates? Tell us more. Name names, Shane. Name names.
I'm also struggling to think of a professional NHL player who loves to just eat pussy. I don't know. They don't strike me as that kind of man.
They strike me as that kind of man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's that.
But I see a team and I just think someone needs to take this in hand. And then he says maybe he hadn't met the right woman yet. It's all so tragic. Anyway,
no one makes me feel like Ilya Rozanov does.
yes, exactly.
I'd say I think Shane speaks for all of us.
I agree.
When he thinks that. But when I say that Ilya is a feeder, my favorite line in this chapter is, "You're not eating."
Yes, I know.
You're not eating is a Russian equivalent of saying, "I love you, I care for you, I die for you." You're not eating is, I would put my
Wedding
life on the
vows.
line.
You're not eating. Gorgeous. It's important to say that we are then back to post-tuna melt sex. And in the book, Shane's thought process goes like this. He's spitting his hand and then he goes, which was gross.
Yeah.
And
Catherine
Shane found
Bohart.
it absurdly arousing. And I'm like, what? No, but you can't find it gross and arousing at the same time. You judge it
100% you can.
Oh, like I feel like the internalized judging is strange. Anyway.
I think one and the same. I think I've had moments where I'm having sex with someone I like. Not often, but when you are in real time realizing that I would find this gross with anybody else, but with you I find it hot. Like, for example, BO.
But all sex is gross if you think about it.
Okay,
Like,
that's a Catherine Bohart.
no, but it's like inherently it's like if you like smushing yourself against somebody or like dealing with the bodily fluids of anybody who you're not aroused by is gross.
Yeah, that's fair.
It just becomes, but that's the line, I guess.
Yeah. I guess
Anyway,
so.
we get to a place where he finally calls him by his first name.
Oh, now you're getting ahead of yourself,
I am. Am
Catherine
I?
Bohart, because I have to point something out. In the TV show,
Yeah.
it's something that we had a whole discussion about, is that after all of this, you're not eating.
Yeah.
The person who initiates sex in the TV show is Shane.
Yep.
Because he is so overwhelmed with the emotional stuff that
You're
he's
dead
like,
right.
we need to actually come back to this is just sex. This is just sex. This is just
We
sex.
should have fucking known.
But in the book, it's Ilya who
Yeah.
initiates the sex, which I think Jacob Tierney made the right choice.
I agree.
Because Ilya is feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that Ilya stays in the feelings in the TV show, and it's Shane who switches it to sex, not Ilya.
But in the book, it is him just cupping Shane. And fair play.
And who wouldn't?
And fair play.
And
Indeed.
who wouldn't?
There's another difference here between the TV show and the book, which is that when Shane rejects Ilya and Ilya puts his sort of neutral face back on and is like, okay, fine, you forgot a meeting, sure, fine. And he like sets his face again. He stands up in this context and straightens up Shane's t-shirt and puts on a face of cool indifference. And then Shane's like, okay, I'm going to go. And there's a moment where Rachel Reed says, and that's when Ilya realised he was actually going to leave. Fucking rip my guts out.
Nope. Yep.
Rip
I have goosebumps.
guts
I have
out.
goosebumps.
Then Shane, because he lives in a penthouse, jogs down 16 flights of stairs because he thinks like, what the fuck is happening? I have feelings. And also he wanted to go back up, so he just like had to run. He gets home and he wakes up Hayden because he's like, I guess, sort of like clotsing into the room, freaking out. And Hayden says, and I love this from Rachel Reed, "Whoa, you in love?" And he's like, "No, no, no." And that takes us to chapter 14.
Crazy. I haven't noticed any of that. But so now you're telling me as it's like new information for me. I'm
my
like,
God,
wait,
great,
and that happened when?
Well, now we're on to chapter 14, November 2016, Montreal.
God.
JJ calls.
It's only going to take us 4 years to get to this fucking book.
By the way, I don't think we're going to make it to the end of part 3 because I think it's too long a section. It's the longest part.
Okay,
But
fair.
stick with us. We're on chapter 14 and JJ calls
Maybe
to
we'll
invite
split this
him.
into 2 eps. Who knows? Okay.
Maybe. Did you know that in this episode he invites him to a restaurant called Jean Jean? Which is the most, like, unbelievably...
The Haitian-inspired one.
Yeah, Jean
There's
Jean.
so much about
JJ
Haitian
invites
food.
him to Jean Jean. I'm just like, JJ, come on. What?
Oh, that is funny.
It's a bit of fun.
That is funny.
It's also just the most Quebecois thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life.
I will say, the way that I think this book was partially sponsored by the Treasury Board of Canada, it's also...
It works for the Treasury Board of Canada, which is cool.
And hiring now!
And really important, yeah.
Provides health insurance for you and your whole family. I will say,
go on.
do you know how obviously there was like some funding from like the Canadian government for the TV show? God bless. God bless. That's where
Canada.
your tax dollars should be going.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something here as well because the amount of sort of like I'm just going to read this. Page 169 is, JJ was French and fashionable and loved food and wine. The perfect Montreal celebrity. It's just like also sponsored by the Tourism Board of Montreal. Why not? Get that coin.
Incredible. Little difference here if we're doing compare and contrast. Rose Landry, and this actually makes way more sense to me in this particular scene, is not eating chips. Well, you know, in the show, she's eating fries, and she's like, it's like she's never had carbs before. She's like, oh my God. And I was like, okay, calm down. It's a French fry. In this case, it's salt cod fritters, and that makes more sense to me.
Parentheses delicious.
Parentheses yes, delicious. Rachel Reed. And then the chat's largely similar to the show, but it's very clear that Shane thinks this is the best connection he's made with a woman ever. Don't tell Una. And
before we get to that.
Oh, please.
We need to talk about how... Okay, in the book overall, and this is my biggest conflict in life, is that I think being turned on by innocence is, like, morally wrong. I'm always like, you're a bad person for being turned on by innocence. That being said, and that makes me prude, I know, in some
But also,
way.
like, have you met yourself?
You think I'm innocent?
No, but I think you love, like, earnest
I do love innocence. I mean,
and you're turned on by people who are like, you're just a nice girl who I want to take care of. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. My reputation on the stand-up comedy circle is that I fuck student comedians. So,
so really, you have to feel at least morally bad about it.
Yeah, there's some shame in me that I'm clearly turned on by innocence, even though I think being turned on by innocence is, like, a morally bad thing.
Interesting.
So, I mean, obviously, I'll sort that out in therapy. But basically...
No, I think everybody is turned on by something they find morally bad. I think transgression is hot, whatever way you understand it.
I think you're completely right.
Yeah.
I think you are completely right. It's like, I think it cringes me out when men love a virgin, yet there's nothing hotter than a guy telling me, oh my God, I've never done that before. And I...
Really? Christ. Oh my God.
It's really complicated, whatever.
I mean, sorry, I'm not even judging you. Fuck, Jesus Christ. No, thank you. I'd like an expert in the field. Thank you.
Ew, no, gross. Okay. No, I'm the expert in the field. And so I'm losing my mind. But basically, I think take on board what I just said.
Yeah.
In the TV show, Shane is much more innocent than he is in the book. And every time there was any allusion to Shane having any experience in the book, it made me so angry.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, you and Ilya are aligned here, because anytime there's any mention of Shane having any experience, Ilya also gets so mad. We'll come back to that. I just find it implausible. I don't find it angering. I'm just like, no, that didn't happen. I'm just like, oh, he's lying. Why is he lying? That's so weird that he's lying. But I'm just like, boys, he's just making shit up now. That's crazy.
So Shane meets and there is a little bit of that in the TV show where he meets the bartender at the
Maxime, yeah.
Maxime.
Yeah.
Maxime. But then the man said with a sexy smile, so then basically Shane and the bartender kind of flirt, and I was like, no, Shane's not meant to realize. Shane is not meant to register this. This is not right. Shane exists in a sexual like.
I think it's whereas I think it's the opposite. I'm like, it's so important that he starts to clock men, because if he doesn't, then he thinks Ilias has one weakness, and he starts this narrative, which he has in the car on the way home from meeting Rose, being like, I like a girl. My standards are so high. It just has to be a movie star. And it's like, baby boy, you don't like a girl. You just had a nice evening. You simply had a nice evening. You just don't go out.
You. You're talking about yourself.
The
it's like you're like
standards.
bisexual. I only fuck women and Barack Obama.
That'd be great.
I do remember asking you what your type. We've talked a lot about Catherine's type in men, but I do remember the first man you said you were attracted to me was Barack.
Which, by the way, I understand sounds like a fake. Sounds like a lesbian in denial. It's like when lesbians say to me, they they don't know they're lesbians, but when women who I know are gay are like, Chris Hemsworth, I'm like, shut up. No, sorry, no. Anyway, Ilya's not in the gym in the book when he finds out about Rose Landry. He's in the hotel Starbucks. Come back to me.
Nothing funnier than being attracted to Barack.
Fuck off. He's powerful. He smokes. He's got a hot wife.
More on the wife.
Sinewy. No, I just love a skinny, powerful boy.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay, back to the book. I'm sorry.
Do you hear me? Yes, so sorry. I think Ilya would also fancy Barack Obama, but he's in the Starbucks gym when the boys show him the headlines, and he says no in shock.
No, it's
no. And then he's like, no, probably nothing. He's like, no. January 2017, I love this from Rachel Reed. It wasn't nothing. Although there were only pictures of them kissing on the cheek in public.
And Ilya's obsessed.
Yeah,
obsessed.
So it could just be nothing. But what did he care? He'd slept with two women the two nights before.
Yeah.
And Shane had a girlfriend maybe and was maybe in love. And maybe he was going to ignore him in 2 weeks at the All-Star game. And he stubbed his toe. And then in the books, fucks his water bottle at the wall and doesn't pick it up. So rude. And
we have it right here. So.
And then my favorite thing is that in the book, he says, he just texts Haley, and Haley has dark hair and freckles, and never mind. It's like, oh, baby boy, you're just using women to get over your boy. Good for you.
And I've been that woman.
I know.
I feel
that
like
you have.
I hope that every single time a man hasn't texted me back, it was because he was actually gay and in love with a man who looked kind of like me.
That's gorgeous. That's really gorgeous. And then 1 week later, Shane had expected a text from Ilya post the Boston game where they play each other. Interesting. But he gets one from his girlfriend instead, who wants him to go dancing. And this is my favorite fact. They don't put it in the TV show. Again, probably budget didn't permit. He decides he'll go out dancing with Rose basically because, you know, he's getting loads of slack for it anyway, for her being his girlfriend in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Because and this is where I lose any capacity to think of hockey as anything other than overtly homosexual. A funny prank his teammates played is that they bought him 60 roses and put them in his locker. Okay.
Fucking owned.
What kind of fucking romantic prank is that? Psych! Did you love them? Did you put them in your house and have ass? What? 60 roses.
Hayden has a florist hookup. Owned.
Wait till they find out he's gay. It'll just be like 60 rosebuds. Woo! What? They're crazy. It's the sweetest, most Canadian prank I've ever heard in my life.
That's so funny. That is so funny. Oh no, guys.
Long stemmed. Fucking what? Idiots loved it.
We cut off the prick so you wouldn't hurt your little fingers.
Yes. Oh God, Ilya was not going to text Hollander. He was going to sulk around and be mean to his roommate. The gayest sentence I've ever read. He was constantly being a little bitch to his roommate. Yeah. J'adore. And then he goes out. And in the book, we're told that Shane has a reputation for being a good leader and absolutely no fun at all. which I find really funny. I think that tracks.
Yeah.
They're all a little bit too accommodating of his being boring AF in the show.
Well, that being said, whenever he does give you even a tiny little bit of sass, and I highlighted some of it later on in the book, it is thrilling.
It is.
The way that to me, the scene that I keep coming back to is in the TV show when they're at the cottage and he goes, "I'm just a bellboy," and it's like the fact whenever he has like even a little fucking teaspoon of chat, you're like, yes, Shane.
Yeah, you're right. And then obviously it's very similar, the club scene to the TV
Can I
show.
describe what Shane is wearing at the club?
I was so bad.
The club.
It's so bad.
He had made an effort tonight, but his deep plum polo and dark blue pants seemed kind of basic.
Sorry, is he dressed as a bruise? As you said that out loud, I was like, sorry, what? Say it again.
Deep plum polo and dark blue pants.
Jesus, parent-teacher meeting called. Behave yourself.
And then my favorite phrase in the entire book, his sneakers were nice, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell on earth. Doesn't Ilya think he needs to up his fashion game about Shane? At some point in the book, I think in this chapter, he's like, he needed to up his fashion game, but whatever.
But he does later, and we'll be describing.
We'll be getting to that.
Exactly what he was wearing.
Hell. So Ilya spots Rose immediately in the book, not Miles.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you were correct in your theory,
which is
when we were discussing the TV show, we're like, why did he say no to Miles in the TV show? And you said it's because he already spotted Rose.
Yes, exactly. Okay, yes, exactly. And then they noticed what I liked about the book that they didn't have in the TV show is that Shane obviously saw Ilya and moved towards him without realizing he was even doing it. But one of my favorite observations is that he noticed Ilya's curled hair from the heat. He noticed that his curls were tighter from the hot room, and I'm like, baby boy pays that too much attention, and the writhing body and his see-through top and blah blah blah. And then Shane watched him kiss and felt sick. And was standing alone and just staring. For some reason, Rachel Reed tells us the girl he's kissing has a tongue piercing, and Ilya likes that.
Oh, I'm upset. She is my favorite side
detail.
character. If there is going to be a
spin-off,
this is going to be about this girl. So she's got a tongue piercing. She's making out with Ilya.
Yeah.
And then
he's like, shall we leave?
Okay, you read what she says. I say, should we take this somewhere else?
Sorry, she said, surprising him. Not tonight, babe. I'm here with my boyfriend. He likes to watch me. It turns him on, but I'm leaving with him.
Your boyfriend?
I've written down girl and her Koch leave.
That's the spin-off we need.
Yeah. Shane then is gone after this, and Ilya leaves to jerk off in the shower, but then he couldn't sleep. Stupid Shane and Rose. Why did he care? I love that as a line. And Shane had been... Now, oh, by the way, online, I read a theory, which isn't true in the book, but when I hadn't read the book, I thought fascinating. This guy had this like hill he would die on. Maybe it was on one of our comments, but essentially that Shane had been imagining Ilya in the shower jerking off in order to fuck Rose.
Oh my God, that's so hot. Fuck, that's hot.
Yeah. But actually, both things can be true.
We've said this once, and I'll say it again. This universe has
God
transformed my sex life.
Yeah.
I am having some of the best sex of my fucking life.
Yeah. Also, what a gift to have a manual to be like, babe, it's this. I want this. I'm gonna leave you with that for an hour. I'll be back. I want this. Don't change anything. Thank you. I love Ilya thinking he'd never been angry about someone sleeping with somebody else before, but maybe he was just being childish about somebody else playing with his toy.
Okay, you know I hate all the dumb sub stuff.
I fucking love it. I was like, that's mine.
He's not a toy. He's the love of your life, okay?
He's both. Can he be both? We contain multitudes. Come on.
But...
and that's what Whitman meant, by the way. So, chapter 15, 1 week later, Montreal.
Okay, can I just say one last thing? Is that
also, it's not your last thing, and of course you can say whatever you like.
It's one of the series of things.
You're safe here.
God, I love doing this.
We are down so much cash, but I love doing it. Please join the Patreon.
So,
Please.
as in the yoga scene, it's introduced that Ilya is obsessed with seeing Shane's home. I also think here it says, page 181, if you're following in the same version of the book, is what if Ilya had been able to get closer to him? Would Shane have danced with him right there in the packed Montreal nightclub? I think here we open on Ilya's kind of obsession, more so than Shane's obsession, of going public.
Yeah.
Ilya is obsessed with loving
agree.
Shane
Hard agree.
in public.
Also, I think there's something in the book, I can't remember exactly where it comes up, but where Ilya's like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even go to a nightclub without seeing this fucker. My one safe space.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be in nightclubs. And it's like, yeah, dude, he should be playing bridge and getting an early night. I completely agree. How dare you come to the club in your plum polo? Get out of here. I agree.
Shane would wear blue light glasses to the nightclub.
And be like, you have something white on your nose. What is that? Okay. Chapter 15. 1 week later, we're in Montreal, and we get a reference to Shane liking that Rose was a bigger superstar than him, which I think makes total sense, right? Like, he must have to be the point of focus so much, and this is not necessarily a man who always wants to be center of attention. So it must be nice to have a sort of deflecting power of stardom. But he also, Rachel Reed shades actors, which I love so much. Which is like, he liked about Rose that she asked people lots of questions and seemed to constantly be interested in them. But maybe that's just because she was an actor and she was just observing and studying them. And I was like, love it.
Also, there is a type of person who asks so many questions that you could see that they're just like so proud of how good they are at conversation.
Yes.
They're like, tell me everything. It's me. I'm shading myself right now. It's like, aren't I amazing?
Yeah, and then the only downside to her fame is that she wouldn't be able to overlook his bad performance in bed because she's so enamored by his fame, which I really. But then the saddest sentence I've ever read, but she'd been patient and helpful, and he'd completed the task both times. Grim. He completed the task both times. Yuck. Anyway, the rest is basically the same as the show.
Square peg round hole, Rachel Reed, God bless.
Jacob,
Pulitzer.
Yes, she should get credit for that, and Jacob should get credit for the fact that he added in the bit about how all of her ex-boyfriends had left her.
Yes.
I was like, very good. That's a good analysis of that woman.
And if you're wondering how the montage that Shane looks back on when she asked him about if he's ever been with anybody, it looks like on page it goes, Shane's memory supplied him with flashes of golden brown curls, sparkling hazel eyes, a playful smile and hard muscled, and of strong hands holding him down as he was entered and filled and ... What happens after? What happens after filled?
The other sweetest bit about this that we don't see in the TV show is that when it feels like at the end of that conversation when they're outside on the pavement, Rose is like, we're gonna be friends, and he kind of looks like he maybe doesn't believe that. In the book, Shane's like, yes, text me all the time, whenever we're in the same city, let's hang out. And it's so sweet, and then he cries. Baby boy. Just be gay. So
Just be gay.
Just be gay. Same night, Ilya's with Svetlana.
We're introduced to Svetlana.
Yes. Who
just the first time
is not a childhood friend, but rather a woman who sold him a car with blonde hair, who speaks Russian, who turns out to have a pro hockey dad.
Sold him a car. This is the most authentic representations of Russians abroad I have ever read in my life. Okay, he had first met Svetlana 3 years ago when she'd worked for the, and say it with me, Lamborghini dealership in Boston. Ho ho ho.
Okay, so then where was I? Svetlana. Yes.
That's my people.
One thing Rachel Reed says is that because Svetlana's dad was a pro hockey player, she doesn't put Ilya on a pedestal. She doesn't think being a hockey player is impressive or important.
But she does think he's hot.
But she does think he's so hot. And at this point, they've had sex. And then she's like, should I get dressed again or should we fuck again? Which clearly is what they usually do. And he's like, you can get dressed. And she's like, ugh. Which, devastating. But he can be sated with women, it says, but never with Shane. There's never enough of Shane. But he can't text Shane at this moment. By the way, Ilya is simping so hard. He's doing teenage girl levels of analysis. He's like, he wants to text Shane, but he will not embarrass himself, so he won't text her. And also, if he did text her, would he just show his girlfriend? Would he just be showing his girlfriend? He's not going to tell them anyway. Are they going to get married? And you're just like, yeah, sweet baby boy, what's going on?
But honestly, exactly what you just said. What scared Ilya was how desperately he wanted it to continue, but not enough to embarrass himself. Yeah. Oh, we've all been there.
No, I'll embarrass myself every goddamn time. We are at the All-Star game then. And Shane,
This is next chapter, right?
No, this is January Tampa Bay All-Star game, same chapter.
That's chapter 16.
I am so sorry.
Wow.
Cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out. I didn't write chapter 16. Oh, no, I have to be human. I'm human. And Shane, in the TV show, this is something I've observed from the universe this week. I watched a psychological analysis of this scene.
Who's analyzing it?
I'll send you the link. There's an incredibly talented woman, and she talks about
who does happen to be institutionalized right now.
No, she's not. She's working from a beautiful living room. Actually, thank you so much. But she says, "Oh no, we're all fine. We're safe. This is supposed to be a happy place. I get enough of this at home. You're ruining events." Anyway. She said very astutely, I think, which is that you see in the physicality of Hudson's work in this scene how much he has come into his own self and manhood and accepted himself by virtue of having told Rose, said out loud what he is, and being accepted by a person and still maintain a relationship with them. That it's actually embodied his level of self-acceptance when he walks in the room. Don't cry.
No, I'm actually going to cry.
No, you must. Well, then fine, go ahead. And I think you feel that too in the book, because even while it says Shane's nervous, it says something felt different now, that he said his preference out loud and he felt sure what he wanted after walking away from something almost perfect with Rose. He's actually given something up in his acceptance of this truth. Admitted he wanted to see Ilya, and that he's excited that they get to play together. And there's something about the depiction in, I know you hate to talk about hockey, but may I? I know. Don't sigh at me. The league, when we talked about it earlier about how much the league underscores that which makes them abjectly different, and therefore avoided them playing on the same All-Star team for years because they were like, they are too different to play together. They've kind of prevented them from being able to recognize that they actually have this like huge, massive thing in common, right? They both love hockey and they both adore playing hockey, and they're so good together when they do play it. And so I think that all of that means that they actually get to be on the same team in lots of figurative ways.
That's so
when
true.
They sit down at this bar, and so it's very sweet that Ilya is the nervous one in this case, actually, and was worried that he wouldn't reply or he might show Rose. And it says Ilya was fretting in the book. Ilya was fretting in the bar. Was Rose there? And
not
Shane,
frauding.
Please, they're different. And I've learned that this month. And Shane looked like relaxed and like a man who didn't question himself anymore, he said, and was dressing like the millionaire he was.
We will read the description. Can I do a very quick diversion, a little quick tangent?
Of course.
That's going to sound irrelevant, but I promise it has something to do with what you were just talking about. I do think that one of the most dangerous things about this universe that I really don't want people to think could be real is that the fuckboy wants you.
Yes, I know. We've said this before. This book is in danger of ruining the lives of women.
Yeah. Or anyone who's being led on, strung along in like a 7-year situationship. The fact that he's like mean to you, but it's really because he's in love with you. Like it's not a good message.
No, but it is a hot message.
It's a hot message. And obviously, as far as fantasies goes, this is absolutely
number one. Also like, I actually am willing to accept the risk that he might not be into me if, when we do hang out, it's in penthouses, as opposed to like his house share where I'm like, do you have a sheet? So I'm fine. Like, that's like, if you're going to be treated badly by a fuckboy, let it be a hockey playing millionaire.
So my favorite sci-fi story of all time, and it might
can't relate to any part of that sentence.
And it might be an obvious one. It's a classic. It's Isaac Asimov's Liar! And it's
again
about,
mad for you to give me any reference points. I got nothing.
A robot, and so the robot, and it explores, because Isaac Asimov actually coined the term robotics. I promise I have a point with this, and he came up with like the rules of robotics. One of which is like the robot can never hurt its owner. Like that is the sort of an axiom of a robot, and obviously it constantly comes up when it comes to like, oh, what if AI rises against us? It can't, because that would be breaking the first rule of robotics, etc. But the story is really interesting because the robot, I promise I have a point, has essentially an ethical dilemma, because its owner comes to him and she goes, is this guy in love with me? And the guy is not. But if the robot tells her that he isn't, he'd be hurting his owner. So the robot ostensibly starts leading on the owner because it's the only way not to hurt her. So when she goes, hey, so that woman he was with, that was not his girlfriend, right? And the robot goes, yeah, that was his cousin. And it's like, essentially, because I think the roles of robotics are always tell the truth, but never hurt your owner. And like, that's where the conflict comes, because it's like, he can't tell her the truth because that would be hurting her.
Whoa.
Anyway, sorry. This really made me think of this story, because it's like, you can't think that the guy who's really mean to you and doesn't kiss you when he butt fucks you is secretly in love with you.
Rachel Reed is leading us on as the robot. Is that what's happening? No, it all works out in the end.
And this is especially true for the Vegas Remix chapter, and that's all I'll say. The rest on Patreon.
They have pretty much the same chat at the bar, except that when there's two observations that I liked that are in the book that you don't get in the show, which is that when Ilya's freaking out and he's still like, "Oh, nice watch. Is that from Rose? Is that from Rose?" He at one point watches Shane swallow his beer, and she wrote and lost his mind. Then he's like, "Did you bring anyone?" Same as the show, all the compatible chat. Ilya put his hand over his mouth to hide his ridiculous smile because Shane doesn't have a girlfriend anymore. Yes!
It's that smile where we pointed out that's where Connor broke.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That smiley.
It's so sweet.
And just to follow up on what Shane was wearing at the time.
Oh, God.
Maybe Rose had taken him shopping or something. Suddenly, he was dressing like the millionaire he was.
I hate what you're about to say.
He had on, picture this, on a white button-up linen shirt.
It gets worse.
Open at the collar with the sleeves rolled up.
That's not the bad part.
Okay, Mr. White Lotus. They were in Florida, after all.
Ugh.
It was tucked into slate blue pants.
Still not the worst
that
part.
fit him perfectly.
Oh my god.
The outfit was finished with a woven belt.
Not even the worst part,
and
although
some
pretty bad.
stylish gray sneakers.
There it is. Wait for it.
With no socks.
Yuck.
You can't be wearing a sneaker with no
Edit
sock.
it. No gay man in the right mind. Is this a dad of 4 recently divorced? What the hell are you talking about?
Sneakers.
Baby's
without
first
socks.
date. No, yuck.
Not even a boat shoe or moccasin. A sneaker with no socks.
Disgraceful. It's actually disgraceful.
Ugh.
Maybe it's only like the millionaire he was in the sense that like only a millionaire could wear that and have everyone be like, yeah, you look amazing. Yeah, love it. No socks, yeah. No, yeah. I think that's the only way. Oh, gross. They're at the pool. It's pretty much the same chat, the same conversation with the kids. This time, though, Ilya, I think, like, wrestles Shane a bit. They have a bit of horseplay. And Shane's like, you wrecked my shirt! Because it got a little bit wet. And I do relate to that.
But also, he was shocked that Ilya would do something like this in public.
Of course Ilya would. He's desperate to be public.
Also, Shane, again, wondered if Ilya ever thought about having kids. Mm-hmm, okay. Mpreg, paging Mpreg. Paging r/Mpreg. Mm-hmm.
And then they're on the ice, and we do see that they actually can just play better with each other because, of course, they can read each other's minds and they have complete symmetry, and that's so lovely. And then they kiss. Ilya kisses him on the helmet, and this wasn't usual shenanigans, but actually he just couldn't help himself. Oh. So cute. And then Shane's on the beach. He needed an hour to himself because he'd been trying to keep his distance from... This is interesting. In the book, you get an insight to why he's trying to avoid Ilya at this event, which is that the media are everywhere. Mm. And actually, she says overtly, he wanted the rivalry because it was a good cover for the truth, but also it was good for the league and good for their careers. So there is like a tension here for Shane, who wants to be a good hockey player and wants to make lots of money and wants to avoid being caught and also adores Ilya. It's real.
I also think that it's interesting that you say that, just because I think a lot of the time we sort of have... Is the word buttress like support?
Okay, I was like...
A butt mattress?
Genuinely, I was like, you could sleep on his ass. I'd have said billow, if anything.
A butt pillow.
Wouldn't you just love one of those cheeks? Oh, yes, please. Yes, thank you, Connor Story. Oh, bring out that pillow. Would... Bye.
But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, the fact...
Sorry, yeah, no, that can't have been what you were saying. I'm sorry.
The fact that he thought that the rivalry, or thinks that the rivalry really informs or like supports their careers, is something that is actually just informing the paranoia and supporting the paranoia. It's like,
100%.
I can't come out, and here's everything around me. It proves that I can't come out.
Yeah.
When in reality, we don't know that, right? They don't know that if there is no rivalry, that their careers would be ruined or that they would play worse. They don't know that. It's just the fact that they have, I mean, specifically Shane has decided to stay in and decided that he can't come out. Everything informs that.
The thing is, though, I really do get it. I get it more than I get it in any other career because I'm like, if you are a sports person, you have been training for it since you were these boys probably since they were like 3 or 4, right? Like everything, their education will have been geared around it. Their entire structure of their days will have been geared around it. Everybody in their family benefits from it. All of their sense of self comes from it. All of their community comes from it. Like they're not, and they have a limited period in which to make their living, right? Because you don't get to play these games.
I understand you're never going to come out about your 10-year affair with Harry Hill. I understand.
You've got a window. You've got a window. He is my natural nemesis in comedy. No, I think of that as you. And this is our cover. This is our cover.
This is our Irina Foundation.
We're just doing a little to undermine the narrative of our rivalry. But chapter 17.
Okay.
He shows up at the room having been found by Ilya on the beach.
Also, I'm going to preempt people. If you are requesting me to say Toronto the way Ilya would have said it on page 198, it's Toronto.
Nice. And I assume they were. We basically have the same chat, except that when Ilya says, like, it's just a plan to fuck it simple, Rachel Reed says Ilya knew it was the wrong reaction, but he was trying to cover a huge swell of emotion. Oh, God. And
well, here I was annoyed more than I was in the TV show, because in the book she built up so much how Ilya was developing feelings, and in the tuna melt scene he was like, I want you to sleep over, I want to look at you, I want to feed you, I don't want you to leave.
Yeah, but look what happened when he did that.
I understand. And then it's like he was so giddy that Shane was back and they're touching hands on the beach, and it's just like you're constantly fantasizing about like kissing him in public, hugging him in public, you're kissing him on TV.
Yeah, but Shane...
And then the second Shane comes out and is like, okay, Ilya's like, actually fuck you. And
no, he's not. He's trying to regain some power from the man who rejected him when he exposed himself in his own home, where Shane never fucking takes him. He brings him to his most intimate space. He tells him a little bit about his family.
That's crazy how you are such an Ilya and I'm such a Shane.
Sorry. And then he's like, and then on top of that, for months, while Shane's been, I guess, sleeping with Rose, Ilya's just had to be like, I guess it's over. I guess he doesn't like me. I guess he doesn't feel the same way I do. I probably couldn't be dating somebody else because I have all these feelings. And then he shows up with all the power at the event and is like, oh yeah, that's over. But looks like $1 million in Ilya's weird view. And all of the power is Shane's at this point.
Wear her socks, but they're at Rose Landry's house.
Yeah, exactly. You're suddenly not wearing socks. You always kept them on in bed with me. It just feels really fucking rude all of a sudden, right? And it's just, and Ilya had to go find him on the beach. It just, and he'd been avoiding him.
Okay.
Oh, I totally understand being like, dude, I'm chill. It was just a plan to fuck.
Yeah.
Trying to regain some fucking pride. Like, ego. Okay. I would totally understand it. And then, sorry, wow, don't come for Ilya. I'm fine.
Wow.
And then they have a conversation about Ilya's family, but we find out more in the book. We find out a couple of things. One, that Ilya's dad's new wife is much younger than him, and that Ilya's mom had been much younger than his dad as well. And that he's a passion and is like quite an old traditional guy, and that he's hard to be around, and that his new wife is panicking about how she's going to cope when he dies.
Yeah.
That in the book, his brother's name is Andrei, not Alexei.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, Russian TikTokers find more plausible because that he always says Alexei. And apparently in Russian, you would use...
Alexei. Oh, Lyosha, you'd say Lyosha.
Yeah, the shorter version, whereas Andrei doesn't have a shorter version.
Yeah, it does.
What would that be?
I guess Andrusha? But that's just a cute name. Never mind. Guess not.
Yeah, so anyway.
You are right. It is Andrei.
Well, no, listen, I'm not right. I just
you
done
are right.
the research. So,
I mean,
no.
My instinct was to say, no, it's not, but you would maybe call him Andrusha, but which is just like a cutesy name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, so they've changed that in the show. But all of which is to say that we find out, more importantly, that Ilya believes in God. Huh? And Shane
his name's Shane fucking Hollander.
And Shane's surprised. Yeah, that's true. And Ilya quite smartly says, well, okay, you don't believe, why you find that surprising, but you think that you're going to lose the game if you don't put your skates on in the right order. And I like the Shane's like, well, that's science. And that the crucifix he wears is his mother's chain. We find this out. And then it divergence from the show in a big way is that they're basically talking about spending enough time spending as much time as they'd want to together. And they're like, where would we go? Fiji? And then Shane's like, no, we just need one rogue reporter to notice, or one person with a camera. And Shane doesn't want to leave Ilya.
You guys can come over to my house anytime.
Yeah, I know, right? Whatever you need. And I don't need a camera. I'll just sit down and watch. But Shane didn't want to leave, and then they're back to saying goodnight with first names, which is very important.
Yeah,
and
then I guess Ilya does a 180 in that same room. The way that Shane does it 180 every other time, where he's like, "Where were you? I'm angry. Okay, I'll suck your dick."
Yeah.
Ilya does a similar thing where in the beginning he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. This is just fuck." And then later in that same meeting, after talking about his mom, Ilya goes, "When will I have you for as long as I want?"
Yeah.
So it's like, he shows his cards pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
and then
makes Shane smile.
Shane's doing a smile that like nearly splits his face in the hallway or something.
Yeah, and it's a
Very
great
cute.
contrast to almost texting him, "We didn't even kiss."
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So 2 weeks later, Ilya's texting Shane, and they're doing something for the first time that they've never done, by the way. In many ways, the gayest thing they've ever done, which is that they're gossiping about hockey. They're talking about a homophobe who's getting banned from a team for a little while. They hadn't talked about hockey before. It's love. Shane says he's going to go shower after his run, and Ilya's like, "You want to Skype?" And Shane's like, "Oh my God, does he want to like have phone sex?" Yikes. But thankfully, and also Shane's thought is, my phone will get wet if he shows himself in the shower.
Also, page 207, Ilya says, "We should Skype while you do that." Exactly. And then he says, "Video phone," which is either a Russianism or a reference to a Lady Gaga Beyonce song.
And then basically they end up like with Shane texting him for an hour and laughing and not wanting to pull himself away. And they end the conversation by Shane going, "Later," and the sunglasses emoji.
That is pretty cool. If any emoji isn't wearing any socks, it's the sunglasses emoji.
It's so cute. But then when he leaves the call, Ilya starts imagining what it would be like to have phone sex with Shane and how he kind of like have to kind of convince this little dweeb to actually engage.
Yeah.
But also he's imagining his bedroom again, as he often is, and he imagines an autographed photo of himself in his bedroom. And also imagine Shane in full pajamas, which I reckon tracks. It tracks.
This reminds me of a time where for about 6 years I had no decorations on my wall, but it was completely empty, and I hung the only thing that I had, which was my university bachelor's diploma. Every time someone came over to fuck me, it looked like a dentist's office.
Ellen described my flat when she came to see it as, she was like, "Wow, it's very Airbnb." Because similarly, empty white walls, grey, everything. I was renting. I was like, we are where we are. It's clean. It's impeccably clean. Olga, I know we said we were going to do one part of the book per episode, but we simply can't. It simply can't be done with part 3.
Unrealistic.
It simply can't be done. We're going to have to call this 2 parts. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We'll see you next Thursday for the rest of part 3. And if you haven't read the book, come on, hurry up, get reading. You could do audiobook, but just be prepared for a freaking creep of a man.
We'll do our own version of the audiobook.
Rachel, you have no idea how much we'd like to do that. Please, please, please call us. We'll pay to do it, just like this podcast. Olga, what's your horniest moment of the week?
Look, I haven't actually seen this. This was described to me by producer Charlie, so it's really like a Plato's cave of porn. But I hear that there's a 2-man bobsled event.
2-man luge, yes.
Where they're on top of each other. Not in a gay way. Just 2 guys pressed against each other, close as can be, sliding down a mountain.
Wow, mine's so similar because there was a rugby video.
Wearing 2 full-body condoms. 2 full-body condoms.
Safe luge, safe luge, safe luge. There was a video put online of a rugby like warm-up session or a training session where they're doing, one man is on the ground. There's a whole team of them, by the way, of these pairs. One man's on the ground and the other man has to like use his crawling self to lift him up and drag him across the floor. I love that producer Reese just nodded like, I've seen it. Very effective stuff. It's crazy. I was watching it being like, I refuse to accept any sport is straight.
Yeah, and then one on top sort of anchors himself by putting his penis into the other one's
Genuinely?
asshole, but just for friction, just so he's on there safely, not in a gay way.
Tell you enough how gay it is. It's so hot. It's so sexy. So for me, that was it. We have a lot of announcements to make before we go.
Let's go.
First of all, don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a Patreon.
If you think that this is it, baby, you are so wrong.
We're restraining ourselves. Can you believe it? There's more to this. We have set up a Patreon partly because we would love to fund this podcast, because we'd like to keep making it and eventually make it probably about other horny TV shows, because we have a lot of time to fill till spring 2027. Can't talk about it, won't talk about it, will not engage. So Patreon, if you join Patreon, you get early access to our live events, you get access to our chat about this show. You get access to our book club where we read something that we don't read on the main every month. This month it's going to be the Las Vegas episode.
It's going to be the Las Vegas remix chapter. It's going to be Dinner with Hayden. And it's going to be any fan fiction that you've sent in.
We're going to do their Quinn series. Yes. Ice and Fire, question mark?
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. How dare I?
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. How do we not get the job? It's crazy. But yes, that's the kind of thing we'll be doing on Patreon. And also, you'll get early access to our, I said live events.
We're doing live events.
Guys, we're doing live events. We're doing live events and they're so much fun. We're doing a live watch along, double headers. We have incredible guests. We have Tia Coffey. We have Sophie Duker. We have Fern Brady. We have Phil Wang. We have so many wonderful guests coming.
It's going to
along
be
with us.
incredible.
And those will also go on our Patreon.
We're building a cottage. And if you build it, they will come.
Yes, they will. Oh, I like that.
It's a reference to a baseball movie and you love that stuff.
Oh, that's very nice. Look at I actually do love that. No, I knew the reference.
Okay.
That was me doing the thing of like, what else do we have to tell you? Oh yes, if you can't afford the Patreon, that's totally understandable. Please follow us on Instagram. We've already got over 1,000 followers. Thank you so much. And also follow us on TikTok. Give us a little mention on Threads, perhaps. Tell your friends that we have live events, even if you can't make them.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. That would be amazing.
Give us
throw
a
us
nice
a like,
little
throw us a
rating.
comment. That would be so helpful.
We're being such bottoms. Let's just wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. I can't bear it. Please. Although Ilya is the neediest top I've ever seen in my goddamn life, so it's actually still on brand. Should we wrap it up?
100%.
Good, because that's the right and safe thing to do. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next Thursday to discuss the last part of the book. We'll be back next Thursday to discuss the second half of part 3 of the book. We'll see where we get to. In the meantime, if you want more of us, we are on Patreon and we're doing live shows at Always Be Comedy in London, and you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and at Tonsil Hockey Podcast.
And if you have any paranoid thoughts, if it's 3 a.m. and you just had a revelation, get your laptop out and email us at tonsilhockeypodcast@gmail.com. Spasiba.